Hey, this is Ken Casey from the Dropkick Murphys, and I love the Grandstanders! Take it away, kid!
We gotta make a little.
Hello, welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's the professor, Russ Stevens, and he's JP's for his son, Tim Hoey. Well, we have another great show for you tonight, so boys, let's get it started. And we start with the New England Patriots, and 8-1. Well, as Matthew Slater goes, that still feels good.
Still feels really damn good. I think that probably was any expected record after 9 games, right?
Yeah, that's probably
7-2,
what all of us
8-1,
had down.
right?
Yeah,
7-2,
take into account
8-1.
that we had a easy schedule the first half,
Easy,
right?
easy isn't the word.
And we thought the Ravens would be a tough game.
Yeah, or Cleveland might have, we might have lost one. We usually lose one of those along the way early to a weird team.
I'll tell you, the
Cleveland.
Ravens always give us a tough time.
Yeah,
You're
they
right,
do.
yeah.
In Baltimore.
There's someone I never look forward to playing.
Harbaugh is not intimidated.
No.
Actually,
by
we were
Belichick.
1-6 the last 7 against them in the regular season.
Is that right?
Yeah. Doesn't seem that way because of the 2 playoff losses.
And look, they carted out Ray
6-1
Lewis and
we were
We
against.
were
Ed
6
Reed.
Yeah,
too.
we were not 1-6.
Yeah.
We were 6-1 against them in the last 7
Yeah, we
regular
had
season
dominated
games,
them.
but we lost the 2 playoff games, and that's what
That's
gives
what
us the
skews it.
yeah
right.
exactly.
But they always seem to, they bring it against us.
Yeah.
it seems.
Oh,
Well,
Always.
Lamar Jackson, look, do you remember when it was, what was it, the Dolphins some years back and they did the
Wildcat.
Wildcat, and
had some
that
Wildcat
worked for a
plays
game,
with-
and we got wiped out and stuff. Lamar Jackson just brought something to the game that we hadn't seen for a while.
Speed.
Yeah.
You know, how many times did we have 3 guys on him, reaching for him, and he'd slip out?
They had him cornered several times.
Yeah.
But, when I look at it, though, I go, what's the over-under? They're treating this kid like a running back. And what's the lifespan of guys like that in the NFL?
Yeah, it's not like he busted it out. Look, Calhoun goes offside, so there's 4 points right there.
Yep.
They got 7 points off the Edelman fumble. That's 11. now we're down to 26.
We get some points off of their miscues also.
No, but I'm saying, I'm talking about.
Thank God for Cyrus Jones on mobile.
Well, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
James White tripped going into the end zone at the end of the first half. That was 4 points.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? And then Mark Andrews, I thought the underrated play of the game was the tight end catching that ball on 3rd and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a game changer.
Miracle catch. They go down and score a touchdown and just put it at that point in time a little too far out of reach.
Yeah, look, if we face them in the playoffs, it's going to be a different story.
Oh, yeah,
Most
they
likely
got all
it's going to
that
be.
on film now. They can prepare.
I'll
a lot
probably
better.
get beat up for saying this, but I don't know if Belichick showed all of his cards in that game. I mean, we've seen it in the past. I don't know, Joe. I know you.
Why would
I
he
know
try to lose a game?
I don't know if he tries to lose a game, but I've seen in the past where we look one way against the team the first time and we look completely different against them the second
yeah,
time.
because you got all that film.
Well,
on
one
you.
example, I mean,
Prepare better.
to Tim's point, there's a wide receiver pass coming up some point in time in our future. We got Sanu, who can throw the ball as well as a lot of quarterbacks, and Edelman, right? So we had 2 receivers who can throw the ball. I guarantee you, in a big moment in a big game, one of our receivers is going to be throwing the ball
Off a
downfield.
double
And he
reverse.
didn't do that the other night.
Yeah.
He did a flea flicker.
I don't think he showed all his cards.
I agree with you. I would have disagreed with you a few years back, but after all these years,
That's why, yeah.
he does, right, he does,
Well,
doesn't
I
show
think Josh
everything.
McDaniel is getting more conservative the longer he's with the Patriots. That was a very conservative.
Well, I think he's trying to keep his quarterback healthy because he knows he's got Marshall Newhouse protecting
That's
his
exactly
blind
right.
side.
Yeah, he's got a terrible offensive line, right?
He
I mean,
knows
what is
it.
he going to do?
It's not going to get better, really.
Oh, he
Well,
can.
Wynn-
Absolutely
Wynn
will get
coming
better.
back is
Wynn
gonna
will
help.
coming back, and if Lacoste comes back, that line will get
That'll
better.
help.
That line will get better.
And also, Nate Solder's going to get cut by the Giants just as a little gift to
On the
to
buyout
He's
Bill.
already
market.
given up 8 sacks.
I know he won't be giving those up when he comes back to the Patriots at the end of the season.
I kind of feel
Newhouse
like
hasn't given up half that.
I kind of feel like it's Newhouse, but the center losing David Andrews has turned out to be a
Making
big deal.
the correct calls and for the protections.
Always
That's
a
big deal.
always a favorite of yours, David Andrews.
Boy, are we missing Gronk or what?
No, there's no question. We don't have a tight end right now, and you're missing him for
That was a
blocking,
big
and you're
deal
missing
in
him
the-
for the
in the running
red
game.
zone.
It's still shocking to me they didn't draft one. I mean, they're drafting this guy and that guy who, they don't draft a freaking tight
But
end.
at the very least, you can get good tight ends, veteran tight ends.
And the guys they
dime a
drafted,
dozen.
the wide receiver and the running back, they just leave them inactive every week.
Well,
they don't
here's
even use them.
one thing about drafting. If you're really maximizing the present, rookie tight ends rarely make an impact. You look at Hawkinson, Noah Fant, all these guys that were like high draft picks
Yeah.
as tight ends haven't made their mark this year.
Oh, Fant has been a
Really, the amazing thing is they didn't go out and sign like a
veteran
legit
guy.
replacement.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we've been a tight end oriented team. We
Yeah.
had Gronk obviously for so many years, and it's not having that tight end in the red zone
that was
is
a big drop
deal.
on Watson.
But we-
that
Oh,
was
yeah.
a big drop.
Yeah.
Watson's a stiff. Why don't we mention Dwayne Allen? We continue that. Why
Right.
don't they re-sign him? I
Yeah.
mean,
That's a
unless
great
maybe
question.
he doesn't want to play anymore. But at the very least, he was a good blocking
Yeah,
back.
totally agree.
Oh, I agree, and he wouldn't have been. He was getting like $5 million with the Patriots, yeah, but he didn't resign for that kind of.
But he's not playing at all right now.
What
not
I
playing
see
at
a
all.
lot is the lack of Devlin in there. I mean, he was a key cog in that
He's not
running
coming
offense.
back.
Oh, I know he's not coming back.
Absolutely not. He's probably not coming back at all. For
We
this
have, a
year's
ton,
group.
we have a ton of injuries.
And it's so good for Sony Michel because Sony has trouble making decisions. But with a fullback, it's
I
left
know,
or
right?
right.
I know.
Which way do I go, left or right? You just work off the fullback's block.
He's when Sony dropped that
Now he
pass
don't- now he
early
has to
on. I
make-
thought it
Oh.
was Joe. Yeah.
Well, Brady had a few words.
And
for
I
him,
just
too.
said Nick Chubb would never have dropped that. All right, when we come back from the break, more New England Patriots, and we'll talk about the first half, moving on to the second half of the season.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Okay, Daniel Nava played for the Patriots again this week and won. Landon Roberts, who I still can't believe why he's still on the team. I don't can't believe
He's
why.
a captain. for God's sake.
And Landon Roberts was as bad on Sunday night as you can be in the NFL.
He's that dreadful combination as a linebacker. He guesses wrong all the time, and he's
Yeah.
slow.
Yeah,
So he
right.
can't recover if he guesses
And
wrong.
one guy you couldn't be slow against was his quarterback.
Yeah.
But you notice Landon Roberts whiffing
You
and doing
sure
bad
do.
things too. He can't even hide from that.
Look, going off of Timmy's point in the last segment, Landon Roberts should be the new fullback in the New England Patriots. I've had enough of him playing middle linebacker.
Yeah, right. Well, they actually put Bentley in later in the game. He
Yeah.
made a couple plays, but
But you know what? Give it to Lamar Jackson. He was pretty deceptive on that option between him and Ingram.
I saw
And-
Bentley whiff on a couple, though. He guessed wrong.
Yeah.
You know, he went over to fill a hole that was. He was one of those guys in the first half who wasn't doing his job.
Yeah,
he
you
was
can't
going to
guess.
spaces, where the fakes were going to, and he was biting on them, and then they were going through his hole where he should have been staying home.
well, you can bet, Nick Saban's Belichick's friend that if they do face him in the playoffs, Nick will be there the whole week teaching them how to handle the option, right?
Look, I think the game plan was off defensively. They had a bad defensive game plan. They weren't ready.
Yeah,
they
they
weren't
weren't
ready for
prepared.
for the speed.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's tough. It's tough. But in the playoffs, hopefully they have a bye, and if they played him in the first round,
They'll
I think
have a
they're in
lot
better
more
shape.
It's
film
all
on him,
part of
especially against
Belichick's
him.
master plan. Don't show his cards.
Well, and remember going back to when we had Andruzzi on the show a couple of years ago, Joe mentioned it earlier, snap count. When you're playing it, look, the Patriots have to play their AFC championship game at home.
Yeah,
It has to
right.
happen.
Right.
That's in danger
Because
now.
if that happens in Foxborough, the whole thing shifts in terms of snap count.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Your
Right?
defense has an advantage.
Baltimore's a legitimate contender for that home field advantage now.
Yeah.
we're
You know what's
only half
amazing?
game ahead.
How did they lose to Cleveland?
Because they're not that great.
No,
I
look,
think
we shut them down in the
really not
second
that
quarter.
great. They're
All
not
of a
that
sudden,
great.
it didn't look like they were going to
And we
score
were
again.
controlling the ball in the third quarter, absolutely controlling the ball.
Totally.
Until Edelman's fumble.
Okay, so I'm sure you were saying this on the TV. What did we do before Sanu? Every pass, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He caught, what, over 10
I think
passes?
he had eight catches.
Now we
Oh,
know
he
why
catch-
Tom asked for him specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm happy
great
with
game.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, gets himself open, gets separation, runs a little bit after the catch.
Am
Am
I jumping the gun to ask about N'Keal Harry here?
No, N'Keal Harry
Everyone's
was put on
asking.
the 53-man roster, but did not make the 45-man roster. You guys surprised by that?
No, I mean they'll work him back in to the lineup. I'm sure, and they might have dressed another extra
I
defensive
just
player.
don't think they think of him as a starter right now.
Yeah.
Not even as a backup, obviously, if you don't leave him inactive.
Look, all you're looking from N'Keal Harry is a couple of big plays, right? You're not looking for 7 catches. He's not catching
No.
5 or 6.
His
balls a
injury
game.
insurance is what he is.
I'm going off his college highlights, which might mean nothing, but this kid looks like he's a giant out there as receivers go. He's got strong hands. I'm just saying, this guy can't help you.
He was
I
also
think
a
he can.
drop machine in college, too.
He drops
Oh,
the
I
easy
don't know
ones and
about
catches
that.
the hard
But,
ones.
but
Right,
look,
exactly.
N'Keal Harry's the guy when Brady's a little desperate in the pocket and he throws the ball downfield. This is a guy who can go up and get the ball, and that's what his role should be.
He's got Gronk's catch radius.
Yeah.
Is what he,
Brady doesn't throw to open guys. He throws to spots where guys are supposed to be. And maybe N'Keal Harry isn't catching on to that.
Well, I tell you something. They would have scored 60 points if it wasn't for Dante Hightower. Clearly, the best defensive player on the field, and guy yelling at him at
He
the
went
sidelines.
badass crazy on the sideline.
He
That was
sure
great to
did.
watch. Yeah.
Just shows you what a great leader he is, continuing year after year to prove that he is the most valuable linebacker in the history of the New England Patriots.
He's right there.
He's there.
He's
Yeah.
right
I'm
there.
not going to give him that.
Wait,
Well,
who
he's
are you
pretty
giving it
close.
I go that
to? You
way.
can't even name the
Hey,
guy.
guys,
you forget
guys,
him every day.
He's helped us win 2 Super Bowls.
Three
directly.
Super Bowls.
Three.
No, he didn't play in the other one.
That we won?
No. Didn't
He made the tackle on.
He's
on-
made-
Oh, yeah, all
he's
three,
won
yeah.
Phil Plus
all
won
three.
3
Yeah.
Super Bowls.
Yeah.
He's
Big play in all 3.
and 2 are almost
Matty Icy
directly
guy.
attributable to him.
The
Yeah.
tackle on
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he's the most valuable linebacker in Patriots history. I'm
Yeah.
willing to say that.
Nobody loved Teddy Bruschi more than I, and I would put Teddy Bruschi second. I just thought he was the most clutch
Yeah.
defensive guy I've ever seen. But Hightower,
The
this
strip
long,
sack
and
against
yeah, 3. We're talking about 3 Super Bowls.
I don't know. Adales Thomas was pretty valuable that one game.
He's the biggest stiff. I almost, as far as free agent signings, I consider him,
and
the worst.
Albert Hainsworth.
Albert Hainsworth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all right.
Ocho Cinco.
We got plenty of
Yeah,
those.
you're right. Here we go. All right, Nick.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh,
That
Jesus.
was killing us.
It sure
that might be
is.
the worst of all.
Oh, that just shows you. And then Seattle Seahawks, who signed Josh Gordon, was doing due diligence on Antonio Brown. What does that even mean?
It means you have no standards whatsoever.
No one wants to save the Patriots and give them the salary cap room by taking AB.
All right, so Tom Brady's not happy because Tom Brady doesn't like to lose. Who do you think Tom Brady hates more, his wide receivers or his offensive line?
Oh, I don't know. I think he loves Sanu. He loves Edelman.
Right.
I think he likes
Loves James
Dorsett.
White.
He loves James White.
But he seems to, act like things aren't well in the offense. He doesn't like the way
You know,
things
it's
are
wearing a little
progressing.
thin on me. Stop being a freaking baby. You know, I mean, you got one of the best defenses in the league. You get the cards you dealt and go out and play with them.
Yeah, exactly. He makes as much money as the whole rest of the offense put together, practically. He's got to carry him sometimes. I know that offensive line is doing nothing for the running game, but he's got to make do.
Well, Russ, how do you think he's performed this season?
B+, A-.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, I give him a B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I've
he's
seen him miss a lot of open
I just
throws.
think he's got a bad attitude about it.
Let's
But he
start
is an A-.
Let's start off with the first throw of the game. That kind of set the tone a little bit. 10 feet over the running back's head. The first throw of the game.
Well, sometimes that's on purpose, Tim. If he thinks the guy's going to
No,
get
the
killed.
guy. Well, he wasn't going to get killed.
Yeah, there was.
And then it was 3 and out.
His
and boom,
problem
it was
is
over.
Brady's problem is he doesn't trust the offensive line.
No,
He's
right.
jittery in the pocket. He's thrown a bunch of balls at the feet of receivers that he hasn't had to. Right?
And Shaq Mason has been terrible this season. Then all you have to do is look at his waistline. He looks like he's gained about 50 pounds from
Yeah.
last season. And that'll tell you what's the difference.
Well, he signed that contract extension.
Right, and he got out of shape.
Yeah.
Right?
look good.
But that's something that can change during the course of the season. We've seen that with some of these offensive
By
linemen.
week 13, we're going to be a running team. Right.
Let's
we're
hope.
going to be running the ball and throwing little dink and dunk passes. And that's what we're going to do. I mean, it happens every
Got to do
year.
it the hard way. They can't do it.
I'll tell you,
easy.
Baltimore out-Patriots the Patriots Sunday. They dink and
absolutely
dunked.
did.
They needed, it was 3rd and 2, and they did the 3-yard pass. How many of those
exactly
did they do?
right, Tim. Yeah,
That was the Patriots playbook. They didn't throw them back.
Well, we saw guys like Adam Butler, have great first halves, but he is the back of his baseball card. So, you can't expect the Adam Butlers and the Danny Sheltons to play that well. All right, coming back to the break, we're going Celtics and Bruins.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Is that right? Jesus.
I think it's our 5-year anniversary tonight.
Happy
I was just saying that. Happy
fellas.
anniversary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
happy
Guys, there
anniversary.
you go. 5 years we have done this show, and I could not have done it without you guys, and I want to thank you guys very,
You could
very
do it
much.
without us. It would just be interesting.
Yeah, right. I do the,
Isaac and Radley, come on in.
You get to talk the whole time. Scott.
All right, we're going to
For all your
Boston
insane
Celtics.
opinions.
Celtics, Grandpa Gordon Hayward, and I know you
Not
guys are all
Grandpa
have the
anymore.
love affair of Grandpa has started. Yes, he scored 39 points against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and look, he's played very well this season. But I'm going to need 30 games.
That's insane.
Oh, give him 20 before you.
That's insane.
Get him up to.
You're
Cousins.
right to say you need to see it consistently because he spiked that last year a bunch of times. But all we can go by is the eye test, and the eye test looks like he's a different player.
I was at the Milwaukee game. He looked like two different players the first half, Gordon, and the second half. The first half, I don't know if he had 0 or maybe 3 points. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with his shot, and then everything in the second half was going in. He needs to take that mid-range jumper that is his shot. He needs to take it. He can't be looking to dish it off like he was.
Yeah, we
last
don't
year.
really know what the signature shot of Grandpa
I
Gordon
think we
is.
learned last
no,
night.
fadeaway
His
stuff.
last
Yeah.
night
for 16.
was the floater. It's the floater.
Yeah,
It's
that's what it is.
10 to
Yeah.
4 feet.
Yeah,
He
that's
can,
what
he can make his own shot. He can
Yeah.
create the space.
But also, he's not turning the ball over
Not turning it over.
like he has been.
And he's helping on D, and he's catching.
Helping
I
on
think
D,
he had
he
10
should be. I mean, he's a key.
No, but
He
he's-
didn't last year.
No,
and
he
he
didn't.
had about 10 rebounds. Didn't he, last
He was
night?
close to a triple-double. Look, the biggest thing is he's taking the ball to contact. He's not afraid to finish at the rim. There's a tangle of bodies. Not worried
Yeah.
about his leg anymore. So let's see.
He was pass first all last year.
Yeah.
I think
Look-
he was overdoing it. Now,
Yeah.
he's a shooter. He's a scorer. He needs to assume that role
Yeah.
and fire away.
That's Kemba's job.
If this is the player he is, our prospects for the Celtics, I think, go up significantly this year.
Well, he has to be a 20-point guy.
Yes.
You know, I mean, that's what he has to
18
be.
to 20. He does.
Jaylen Brown's not a 20-point guy.
Right. He's 14, 15.
Yeah.
Right.
Tatum has to be a 20-point guy. Kemba and Hayward.
But Jalen gives you a different skill set.
I think
That's
Kemba
right.
needs to be a 25-point guy.
Yeah, he is. So far, he's been.
Yeah.
It's been
terrific.
fantastic.
And 26 points.
You know, I
is
watched the
average.
show today, and it was a really well-regarded announcer who met Kemba on the USA Tour this year, and
Yeah.
they said he was the most impressive young man he has ever met in sports, he said.
He's supposed to be a very nice guy.
From
yeah.
a leadership standpoint, from just being a man standpoint, he was the most impressive he'd ever met in sports, this guy said.
And he wanted to come to the Boston
Quite
Celtics.
the compliment.
Yeah.
He didn't
It's
get
like night
traded
and
like
day.
Kyrie. Kyrie got traded to the Celtics.
It's like night and day, isn't it?
Yeah.
The whole vibe around this team. Isn't it just like, and not having to listen to that idiot after every
Philosophise.
game. Philosophizing about life.
Do you see the Nets put up a huge building size?
Good for them.
On the side of Madison Square
they're
Garden. the
3
Knicks
and 4
place.
right now,
Would
Joe.
Kemba go through a thesaurus before every interview and say, pick out 2 big words he was going to throw into the interview?
No, but
It's
this
like
is
we've
what
been
I like.
freed.
Fourth quarter, which is the key in the NBA, it's not just Kyrie and 4 guys standing around watching what Kyrie's doing. Kemba still integrates himself to the
Hey,
offense.
let's not forget the game the Celtics won before last. Is Tatum taking
Nick
a
from the corner there.
wicked,
Step back.
Wow.
big
yeah.
time superstar KD closing
The
shot.
guy we thought he was going to be 2
We were
years
racing
ago.
out of the garden.
The guy we
Yeah,
thought
right.
was going to be 2 years ago, who disappeared last year,
That was the guy we saw the other night.
He's getting a chance to blossom into that guy that we thought we were getting.
Well, a video that went viral, there was somebody in the front row, I don't know if you've seen it, taking the video of him, of the inbound play, and watching Tatum shoot it. And then you realize these NBA players are far different than the game that we played.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It was a terrific play.
Yep.
Yeah, and look, the whole vibe around it, we're 5-1, and we're missing 40% of our starting lineup, by the way.
Right.
Cantor and Brown, and we're starters on night one, and they have not played
again tonight.
How relieved is Brad Stevens not to have to walk on eggshells this year?
So relieved.
Everyone in that organization tiptoed around last year.
We talk about team chemistry. We continue to, baseball, I don't think it's that important, but basketball, it's everything.
Absolutely.
In the smaller team games, it's so much more.
Especially when the guy's the point guard.
And one thing you gotta recognize the job that Smart did on Kevin Love last night.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, how about the job
And
Smart did on
the freak?
on
Giannis?
On Giannis.
Yep.
Giannis wanted to throw punches by the end of the game.
No,
He's smart as an irritant.
He's given up
boy.
6 inches to these guys and holding his own.
Heart and soul this team.
I love
Heart and
Marcus
soul
Smart.
this team.
Marcus Smart could play for the Bruins.
And by the way, hits threes.
Yeah, right. He's been shooting much better.
It's
Well, he
threes
shot
now.
better last season too.
He's
definitely been
Terry
improved.
O'Reilly
He's
of the
streaky on the
Celtics.
free stuff.
He's perfect for Boston.
He's
Everyone-
perfect.
Terry O'Reilly with the
He
basketball
really
shirt
is.
on.
Yeah,
you know?
right. Yeah, right.
I mean, Terry O'Reilly wasn't the most skilled hockey player,
Couldn't
but
skate.
couldn't skate.
Yeah, right.
But boy, he left his guts on the ice, and Marcus Smart leaves his guts on the court.
I have a bunch of Philly fans who I text with who say all the time, I hate Marcus Smart, and I wish he was on our team.
Yeah, oh my God.
Right? That's the guy you hate if he's on the...
Philly could use him.
Right? And then you say, but I take him on my team.
So we're past the whole. Every time there's a potential deal, everyone's like, "Oh, we could throw Marcus Smart in."
Not anymore.
But we have said that for a number of years
for 3 years.
Yeah,
But I still yell no when he goes to shoot.
I don't anymore.
That's
He looks
natural.
good.
Yeah,
He
that's
looks
He
good.
hit a
Looks
couple of big
confident.
ones in
Yeah.
Milwaukee, I'll tell you that.
Looks confident.
And look, the rookies have already contributed, of course. Grant Williams, my buddy, and Carson Edwards
had a good game last night.
Played 13 points last
God.
night.
So
in
Carson
15
hopefully
minutes.
has got all of his misses out of the way.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him. He cut his hair. I didn't know who this guy. I thought it was
So
someone else.
let's talk a little bit about the guys that we would like to go into the witness protection
I
program.
know one of them. You're going to say Mason Terrace's own.
Yeah, Brad Wanamaker.
has been
and I think it's time for Shemi to go down to sort of AAA or whatever version of AAA there exists.
No, I understand, but I thought Shimmy played. I mean, he's only 6 games in, but I thought he played well early on. He was contributing
I
a
thought he
little
did
bit.
a good job defensively in the Milwaukee game.
Yeah, he's the end of the bench guy.
Yeah, end of the bench
yeah,
guy.
and the refs call a foul on him before he's even
my
buzzed
God.
in.
But Wanamaker, we
Him
can
and
agree,
Tice,
should go into witness protection.
Yeah, no, he's going to get cut soon once Trey Waters has some more time
I
in
hope so.
Portland.
Yeah.
I think they love Trey
Well, I
Waters.
agree.
Well,
All right.
Shemi's a beast, though. That guy has muscles on top of muscles.
Yeah, well, he can be in muscle fitness.
But now
when
we
he's
got
out there.
Taco
All right,
here.
when we come back, Bruins and Red Sox.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
But nobody pays DHs anymore.
I know.
But none of the.
All right, we got to talk Bruins. And Timmy, you were in your element last night because Tuukka sucked.
I'll give him a pass because he's been outstanding this year.
He was a disaster.
Last night
He has
was a
been
disaster.
outstanding.
He was a
And they
disaster.
still almost pulled it out.
I was surprised he didn't pull him.
Yeah,
At
after
the
the
end of the
first
first
period,
period,
and Halak's been outstanding too.
yeah, weren't you surprised? I was
But
like,
after
oh,
the
they're
first
pulling him.
period, he didn't have it.
This team.
Well,
has been-
Halak had played the game prior, too.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean, he played well.
How about though number 1 and number 2 scorers in the league right now?
Pasternak
and
Marchand.
Marchand. They are
Pasternak's
freaking on
top
fire.
5. I know that the folks in the other room don't agree.
I
with
know,
this, but
Hudson
Pasternak's a
Todd
top
just
5.
ripped into you when we
Top
got out of
5
here.
player.
Pasternak right
NHL.
now is in that zone where when he goes to shoot it, the spot he's shooting at, it looks like the side of a barn.
Yeah.
I mean, you get in that zone, and like you've been in with shooting a basketball, everything you shoot up, or he just sees it.
But it
He's
was the
just-
third line. Third line did well last night.
Would you trade Pasternak for Ovechkin? tomorrow.
No.
Absolutely.
No.
You gotta be kidding.
No, I wouldn't.
No
because
way.
Ovechkin's on the
They're
back
going to get 10
nine.
years out of Pasternak. Ovechkin's got like 2-3 years
Pasternak
left.
last year. Let's clarify this. Pasternak last year would have been a freaking sophomore or junior in college. Some kids are coming in as freshmen to college right now.
I'm not trading for
at the
Ovechkin.
age of 21.
He's
not
got a
trading.
label on him for the playoffs.
Oh, well,
Let's see if they can punch him in the mouth, and he's
By
going
the
to
way,
punch back.
Ovechkin had a label on him in the playoffs until they finally won it
me tell
after
you,
like
you know.
10 years of being in the
But
playoffs.
Ovechkin is a lot bigger guy
Pasternak
than
is
Pasternak.
By the way,
Pasternak
Pasternak now
beast.
goes almost 200 pounds, Pasternak.
Yeah,
Ovechkin
Pasternak
was
is
a
a
tough
skinny
guy.
kid. He's just getting his man body.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just getting that
Yeah.
man strength. He had kid
Not
strength.
trading
He
him
was
for
I need
20.
more. I need more. That's a Clayton Kershaw.
No. Pasternak
Pasternak has that
has
special
a much
thing.
bigger future.
Let me tell you, there are certain guys in hockey that can just flat out score, and they're hard
In the
to
regular
find.
season.
They're-
Sign me up with Timmy. Timmy and
In
I
the
are on the
regular
same
season.
page.
All right. Well, I want to see it in the.
No, you hate. Why do you hate David Pasternak?
I don't.
sounds
I'll
like
just
a
tell you
hater.
this. I'll tell you
I
this.
spent the whole playoffs cursing
Scotty,
the TV watching him play.
You put
He
a
was
regular
talented.
mucker in the NHL in the same exact position that Pasternak has scored his goals from this year, and a regular mucker in the NHL, maybe 20% of those shots.
Well,
are
no,
going
he
to.
absolutely does get weird angles. But, I hate David Krejci.
5-hole.
That's why Pasternak's not the number one hated Bruin for me. Because freaking.
You hate the number one scorer in the
I hate
NHL.
Krejci. No, Krejci.
No, but Pasternak, you're saying he'd be number 2 on your hate list.
Yes, he would be. Yeah. Well,
He's,
I have high
he's
standards.
leading the freaking NHL
Ah,
in
that's a
scoring.
regular season.
And-
Doesn't
and
mean
back-
Would you
Correct.
trade Pasternak for Gordon Hayward? Is the question.
yeah, right, exactly. They're both in the same boat right now for me. All right, the replay is so ridiculous.
Oh, my God, that was awful last night.
NHL,
They
we
had to
have
get
to
their
address
credit
it.
card out last night to see if it fit between his skate and the blue line.
I'm tired of replay where everybody stops after a score and waits to see if it's going to be official. It's
stupid. Was it
ridiculous.
offsides?
These aren't election results.
Every year that goes by, they add more and more to the replay menu, and every year it gets worse.
And you know that when there was a blatant offsides in a Colorado Rockies game, and that is in a big game that there was offsides, and that's why they implemented
Avalanche.
this rule. The
Avalanche,
Avalanche. And it was the spirit of that rule was put in almost like the pass interference rule for the NFL this
Gotta
year.
be
No, but
It
Timmy,
has
these-
to be blatant.
These rules should be only, into the playoffs. Okay, the playoffs, I want to get everything
Or
right.
last 2 minutes of a game.
Or maybe something like that, but not
Yeah.
the whole freaking second period. Who gives a
If
crap?
you have to look
of
at
a
an
game
offsides call
in
for
November?
5 minutes to figure out if it was or not.
We
Come
got better
on.
things to do. Everybody wants to go home. I don't know what that. And 7 innings for baseball. All right, goes to the Red Sox.
By the way, we
He
can
snuck
no
that
longer,
one in.
this is the first show we can no longer say the world champion Boston Red Sox.
No, we can't. I know, right?
Yeah.
After last season. Yeah, oh my
Formerly
God.
It's over.
Yeah, it's totally over.
It may be a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're in a bad place. This new guy's got a lot of work to do.
All right, so JD opts in. Damn it, right?
I'm glad.
Why?
I think he would be a tough guy to replace. I
you-
think his leadership, his attitude, I like everything about J.D.
I like everything about him except that he may cost us Mookie Betts.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
I like everything about him except for that.
But you watch the
I agree.
playoffs and these, of course, the National League teams that we're not familiar with, and you see like these guys, the shortstop got 30 home runs for the Cardinals and stuff.
Right.
Like a lot of these guys are putting up 30+ home run numbers in the major leagues, so we just don't understand that JD Martinez is not as valuable as he used to be.
Vasquez hit like 4 times as many home runs as he had in his
So-
entire career previous.
So what is he, 23 million?
23, 23 and a
Yeah,
half,
somewhere
25,
around there.
somewhere around
But it
there.
does show you that starting
It's
pitchers.
not top shelf.
When you're getting a starting pitcher now, we saw Corbin, obviously help them win Game 7.
Yeah.
You need to be able to come out of the bullpen if you're a starting pitcher right now.
Oh, that's how we won it 2 years ago.
That's
Look,
the
there-
value right now in the playoffs.
There's a needle that Bloom can thread. If he could figure out a way to trade Price or Sale and he may have to throw a Benintendi into that deal to
To get rid of
take
the
it.
sale.
Yeah,
and
right.
you start shifting guys around, then you can afford, Betts and Martinez and still stay in a reasonable salary range. But short of that, I don't know what's
what
going
are
to
we
happen.
going to do? Go out and sign another $150 million starter this year?
Red Sox take a step back, would you agree, if they trade Mookie Betts?
Oh my God, yeah. He's
They have
the
to, 'cause
top
that-
3 player in Major League Baseball. Of course, they're going to take a
Yeah.
step back.
You're not going to get, present value. Maybe you'll get prospects, and who knows if any
What's it going to
pan
take?
out.
10 and 40 a year?
Yeah,
I bet
don't know,
you in
35.
arbitration he's going to get above $30 million.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I wouldn't trade him even if you don't think he's coming back. I wouldn't trade him. You're not going to get much back for him.
No, you're going to get prospects,
You're
like
gonna
Joe
get some
said.
prospects, and 2/3 of those are going to fail. So why are we trading him?
Or a journeyman outfielder with prospects to replace him.
I don't want to do that. Give me one more year.
The Red Sox have won 4 World Series. It's been great stuff, but the standard is so high right now, Red Sox fans won't stand for anything less.
Well, we're not standing for it.
No, the ticket prices increased again. They've been screwing us in the grandstands every year for the last few, and it's my fault because I had some conversations with some people and told them, thank you so much for keeping our prices low.
Thank you.
And I was screwed.
That's your legacy.
I need to expand my
patting
seat. is
Sam
what they
Kennedy
need to
on
do.
the back.
Yeah, right. All right, that's our show tonight. I want to thank the boys. I want to thank everyone behind the scenes. We got Handsome Todd. We have Isaac. We have Radley. Oh, my God. It's
Mr.
nice.
Radley
We got
even made
Mr.
some
Radley.
notes.
By the way,
Notes
they're
there.
doing some chirping behind the door.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
The
We're gonna
fact
hear it
checkers.
after the
It's
show.
all against Russ, I think. Please check us on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in on Friday night at 9 o'clock on Dirty Water Friday Night Live, The Grandstanders Live on Dirty Water TV. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night.
Here comes the circus.